They are passing a law where if you ask for change in public, you can go to jail, prison for 6 years for the crime of being homeless and asking for money.
Well, that's the problem right there here on Nearly Senior Citizens.
He needs some milk.
Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yes, indeed, a brand new day with loud vehicles outside that maybe you can hear, I don't know. I woke up in pretty good shape this morning. It was dry, and again, it's weird. I have no problems with most dry plant pollens. On a dry day, I have no issues. I can stand in a cloud of like Scotch broom pollen, and the only thing that will happen is my eyes will get gummy because there's so much pollen inside of them. I don't have any problems with dry pollen. But when it rains, I immediately start wheezing. Hokey smokes. We figure that it's leaf mold, fungus, and all that. Well, of course, leaf mold equals fungus, but we think it's leaf mold spores and all that. Just fungal spores, because it really only happens when it's wet. I mean, I'm still hacking and coughing and wheezing, but nowhere near as bad. I slept this morning, didn't wake up coughing, so it was great. And hey, front loading of videos. If you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that too would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, I love comments. I read every one, thumbs up each one I do, answer as many as I can. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and awesome people are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome. I mean, literally beautiful and literally awesome. They help me survive, and that's a very good thing. And if you would like to help me survive and help keep my pet survive and be beautiful and awesome, the links to the PayPal thing are all, not the PayPal, the Patreon, are in the show more below. Thumbs up, or wherever it happens to be. I don't know. Yay! A lot of things happen, none of them really big or intelligent, and with my brain working the way it does anymore, which is to say not well, I can't remember a lot of what happened, but there are some things that I do want to talk about. Number one, I played once again. Finally, it took a long time, but I did another session of D100 Dungeon. My view of my character has changed quite a bit. They've gone from beginning competent character to, in my mind, they're that lovable loser type where nothing goes right. Because the first time that I told you about and showed my little mapping sheet, and let's see if I still have it now, within reach. Well, the first time I had done that, he got his ass kicked by a door, literally. He kept injuring himself on the door. And of course, the way the adventure goes, as you figure out what the room looks like, you can put the narrative in excuse me, together in your head. So in my view, in this door that he couldn't get through, there was actually more annoying for him, slits in it. So he could see there was like lit torches on the other side. So he knew there was a way to get through there, he just couldn't, and the door was killing him. So he canceled that one and started over. Well, last night, I went and started, amazingly, in that same room. Now, I haven't written down anything that happened in there because this went very poorly. It went pear-shaped and south quite quickly. Because I go into the new dungeon that amazingly looks exactly like the old one, and went to the door, and I'd already decided any roll over 90 was just going to be discounted because that was all traps, and not traps, but the doors were jammed and locked and all that. So of course I roll a 94, which would have put a lever to it, which would have meant there was no way through. Now, it takes care of that. In the game, it says, if you cannot find a way to continue, choose a wall, put a secret door in there, continue the game. I just thought it was funnier to have my character give up in frustration. So last night, when I went through, I opened up the door and I enter the room. The narrative becomes, as I was searching, because searching the room, what I came up with was, oh dear, I have to roll on the encounter table. And then I rolled on the encounter table and it was a Ratman champion. And it had first swing on me. So I figure in the narrative of the game, I was so busy digging around and looking at stuff that I only finally at the very last moment heard the scraping of feet on the floor and the sliding of a weapon coming out of the scabbard, ducked out, and the blade went through where my neck had been just a second ago. Then the battle started. For real. Tamokton attacks. I actually hit. 2 points of damage. Not much, but still not bad. It's only got, the Ratman champion has got, only 9 hit points. 9 hit points. So I do 2 points of damage, and it's got armor with an armor value of 2. None of my armor has an armor value. So that point of damage that I did to it just tink, scraped off of its armor and did nothing. My armor does not have an armor value. If I get hit in an area, I'm either going to have to take hit point damage. Oh, my heart is just changing rhythm, and it's hopefully I'm not just going to fall over and die, and then this doesn't get uploaded. No, it's gone back to normal. Good. Whew, that's a very unpleasant feeling when that occurs. Let's see, what was I talking about? It was Tamokton is, the weapon, the swinging, the stuff. I can't even remember that, but it's my turn. I am so sorry. My heart doing that just blasted the stuff that was right out of my head because it was a very unpleasant feeling. But we come up. I'm going to continue from here. It swings. I miss. Then I attack back. And I hit. I did the damage. It's all done that. If I get hit, I can shunt the damage over to my armor. But because it doesn't have an armor value, it takes hit points off of the armor. I'm hopefully going to edit out the place where I was lost. But so your armor has hit points, and mine has no intrinsic armor, but I can shunt it over. The next round, we swing, both of us miss. The next round, I swing and miss, it hits. Uh-oh. So I roll for where it hits, which is my main weapon. And the damage it does. Maximum. All of your armor and your weapons have hit points. If your weapon gets damaged before it hits it's smashed up, broken, and destroyed, then you can unequip it so that it doesn't get destroyed, and then you can fix it later. Weapons have 5 hit points, and then the 6th one destroys it. That 6 points of damage went straight to my hand weapon. It shattered into pieces. So I swing at it, tink, off of its armor. It swings at me, and my weapon explodes in my hand. You cannot fight unarmed in D100 Dungeon. It's suicide to try and fight fists against sword. I have to escape from the combat and then escape out of the dungeon. I do so, but so far it's been Dungeons 2, Tamokton 0. I go in, and immediately my weapon's destroyed, and I have to run away or die. So, thumbs up for that. Tamokton is doing very, very well in his adventures. Joy. But I do want to talk about some other stuff. There is one thing in the context of stories and stuff, since I'm trying to use Tamokton's tribe somewhere within the framework of the story that I'm using, but not really as a big thing. Just as a minor character building thing, one of the things I could see is someone comes up to Tamokton to ask him if he's the leader of this individual party, and he turns and looks down his nose at them as my tribal name is Tamokton. But my friends just call me Daft. Come on, yeah, glad to meet you, come on. Just call me Daft, just call me Mock. So, his short name, his nickname is Mock. So, thumbs up on that. But I did want to talk about some of this stuff because I had been thinking about these things. First, though, in the middle of all this, there is a spider report. That little black spider I was talking about yesterday that was in the corner over there is now in the juncture between wall and ceiling right up there. And that's cool. I'm glad that it's alive. So definitely a thumbs up on that. Hopefully it's going to continue surviving. But there is some stuff about Daph and all that I wanted to talk about, because world building is always good, even if it's not something that will actually be used in a story, directly referenced. Even without that, it's because I know how it works and I write around that. Even though you can't see it, it is the structure and the framework that everything is built on. So you do see it, just not drawn huge attention to. But Daph's full name is Daphiid Eala Ortega. David spelled in the razor's edge type, Daphiid. It's David, but it's spelled very, very differently for American people. I imagine it's closer in such to a lot of names that would be around in the world, because it's still just David. There's only so many ways you can spell it. But one of the short terms for this particular name on the razor's edge is just Daph. And that's why he goes by Daph. And the Eala for his middle name, his father was from the outside. His mother was from the razor's edge. And a lot of names from the razor's edge and on the inside are just, hey, that sounds nice. That's your name now. And Eala, that's just something that sounded nice. So that's his name, and that's where that comes from. But one of the things I was thinking of on the whole cryptid part is because Daph is affable and nice, but he has insisted, and it's true, he has never killed anybody. He is a cryptid. It is his nature, it is his right to do so. But he doesn't, and hasn't. And then there's James Bakir, who, as well, to stay off a particular dark path, insist that they will not kill unless they have to. Self-defense or food. They are a 13th type of cryptid. They have to eat human beings to survive. While it is true that they haven't really killed anybody, it's not really true. And this is the hard part about writing about cryptids and these type of people, because they are basically anti-heroes, even though they're heroes, because James Bakir has to eat human beings. 52 people a year. It's very unfortunate for him and wherever he happens to be. He's a nice guy. It's just unfortunate for him. Daph is also a cryptid, but didn't know it until like 6 months into the story, because they're just such a nice guy that they don't do anything. They just like talking to people and traveling and meeting and such. And so they just never did anything. In retrospect, looking back on his life, he can see points on, oh, this is when I was going to do this, and this is when I should have done this, and this is when I should have killed this person. But that's not in their nature. Even then, Daph has never killed anybody. But he helps James find people that he needs to eat. So it might be that time of the week that James needs to eat, and Daph will be doing something along the lines of, oh, hey, Jimmy, eat her. I'll go up and talk to her, and then when she's distracted, you come up and get her. If that's not planned and executed murder, I don't know what is. So that happens, and of course, once they're fully in knowing that Daph is indeed a cryptid, it's James's idea to, hey, you are the type of cryptid. You've told me it's in my nature and it's okay for me to kill because it's in my nature. You are owed death as well. Grab a butcher knife, I'll go hold someone down, you can kill him, let's go. And so they head out. Daph is actually curious. It is in his nature to do so, but it's not in his nature as Daph to do so. So when they've got this person ready, just being held by James, and Daph is standing there with the butcher knife. At which point, a lot of the cryptid starts to shine through when Daph is talking to James, and just saying, well, I know I'm due this death. I know I'm owed it. And the person there is like, hey, no, it's my life. At which point the soliloquy begins, where it's something along the lines of his face just goes blank, eyes go, flat, and he just turns to this person and says, oh, no, I know you don't want to hear this, but your life and your opinion are worth the same thing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, this knife in my hand is infinitely more valuable than your life is. Your life is worth nothing. I and my friend are of particular beings. We are owed death. I am owed human death. Existence owes me human death and suffering. If I were to start with you and murder my way through 1,000 others, when I was done, I would still demand more. And existence would provide, because reality owes me human death and suffering. Your life is worth nothing. At which point they also pull back and then just turn away and go, but it's not in my nature to do so. It's my nature to take your life. It's owed to me, but I don't want to take it. And they let the person go, and Daph is happy. Sure, he's owed death. He's owed murder. He's owed suffering. The kind of cryptid that they are is extremely virulent, extremely unpleasant, likes to kill, does it often. Daph has never killed anybody and doesn't plan on doing so. It's just not in his nature. He wants to talk to people. He's a friendly guy. Right now, he's bumming around with James because they've turned into pretty good friends. But it still isn't. He's not a killer. Here, I'll distract her. Then you get her. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. It's never many, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you. And if I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, well, you've already seen how my brain works. Oy vey. So we have Confused Owl 29 and oy vey. Oh, Allergies, you gotta love them. Sebastian Ferris, thank you for rewatching some of that very old stuff. I had forgotten about Whitebeard. Jesse Koskinen, thank you very much. And oh boy, you haven't seen Confusing and Disorienting until we get further into dusk. Then there is Fnordathoth. Thank you very, very much. And I got through the Intoxicator frighteningly quickly. That was pretty cool. JAYY, thumbs up and thank you. We have Ben B, greatly appreciated. Good to see you. Flora Mew, thumbs up and always good to see you in the comments, my friend. We have Psycho Jazz. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I just choose whatever I like playing, and I like boomer shooters. So we have Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. And that is it. 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. There we go. Oh, there. Whew. Gotta crack those joints so they don't hurt. Yay! I can't remember what else I was going to say. So, don't know where the show more for the devices that you're watching, but inside of that are links to all of my various channels, as well as my Twitter, my Facebook, my Patreon. And again, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. They're literally beautiful and literally awesome people. Still, help to keep me and help to keep my pets alive. My little hamster Ghost is very appreciative in his little hamster way, and my little kitty cat Eala is also very appreciative in her little kitty cat way. If you could become a patron and help keep me and my pets alive, that would be very, very cool. And of course, if you'd like to help me out without sending money through the Patreon, if you could do the PayPal, it'd be very cool. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, I do have an Amazon wish list with stuff like cat food on it. So thumbs up on that. Yay! Now, of course, let's see if I can remember how the rest of this goes, because I am lost entirely. It's, yes, it's don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. There we go. And I do take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart. My brain is broken today. Thumbs up and thank you. If you could toss me a like, appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Well, hokey smokes. Yeah, I got to get some recording done for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're taking off early to go to the VA for my doctor's appointments. I got a lot of stuff I got to bring up, and I got to do it fast while I'm there, so hopefully I'm going to be able to get everything done. Oh, joy. I got phone calls that I should make. Well, should is bad. Never should on yourself. I have phone calls I would like to make. And if I can't, well, I'll do my best. But past that, I'm going to keep doing what I can do. Hopefully, you can do what you can do to get through the day. And if you live in, like, the deep south of the U.S., I'm very sorry. Tennessee is passing a law that will now felonize being homeless. If you are homeless, they are passing a law where if you ask for change in public, you can go to jail, prison for 6 years for the crime of being homeless and asking for money. So, until we meet again, I am so tired of the United States, by the way. I am so tired of the pointless cruelty of the GOP in the South. I am so done. You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and, well, that is still a very good idea.